When I first started at the channel, Doddy told me about a local riding spot that he said was absolute death in the winter. And I said, dude, I'll be okay. It's only winter riding, come on. Needless to say, he was right. It's like an absolute ice rink. So today I've come equipped with a set of cross-country tyres and a set of mud spikes to find out, do we really need to change our tyres in winter? Riding in the wet, for me anyway, can actually be a bit more fun. That lack of traction can really add some excitement in the mix. But if you want to ride the steeper, more natural trails, it can sometimes be downright dangerous. Now in the UK, we're really lucky that we've got this whole host and network of these amazing trail centres that drain really well in winter. So they're kind of brilliant all the year round. But what if you want to carry on riding the natural stuff? Should you be changing your tyres? And is it a conversation worth having? Well, today I'm going to find out. This place is absolutely ridiculous in the wet. So we're going to compare some shallow cross-country tyres compared to a high-stack mud spike. Now, these cross-country tyres are great. I often really enjoy riding them most of the year. But when it comes to winter, do we need something specialist? Here at GMBN, we're incredibly lucky to be supported by Continental Tyres, but many brands will offer mud tyres with a similar design ethos. This isn't something that is regimented by brand. That said, some companies pack more technology into their tyres, and it would be untrue to say that all tyres are created equal. So the tyre that we run most of the year, although this one is maybe leaning more towards the cross-country side of things, is something like this. It's got a low stack height. That means it gets a really nice contact patch with the ground, whilst giving lots of stability. The shorter those stacks are, the less that tyre can deform and bend, and so it's more predictable. It's also very light. Now this makes it excellent for climbing, as you've got less rotational mass that you've got to accelerate all the time. The tread pattern, such as this one, is designed to give not only fast rolling, but provide lots of grip and traction as you go up and as you go down over a whole variety of surfaces. So rocks, roots, anything really. Now, it also benefits from quite a high TPI, which is thread per inch. Now, the higher the TPI, the better the tyre is at deforming, the more supple the tyre is. This is also aided by this being a tubeless setup, so there's plenty of grip on offer. With all those positive points that I just reeled off, what's the drawback of a cross-country tyre? Well, I think the main thing, or at least we'll probably be finding out today, is that shorter stack height that I told you about, which is great in dry terrain, sometimes can get overwhelmed by claggy mud. It also doesn't shed mud so easy. So in the soft, sticky stuff, it could come undone. Oh, Jesus Christ. Right, okay. So this was actually just meant to be quite a relaxed climbing shot that wasn't really meant to illustrate any point. But already you can see the level of saturated and slippery terrain we're dealing with. Let alone the descents, tyres can clag up and smooth over on the climbs. So it's going to be a long day at the office for me, I think. I'm actually, it sounds stupid, I'm actually a bit nervous. Now, coming up there, first of all, the tyre started clagging up, and then we started walking up, and then I started falling over. I mean, it's really, really, really slippy, but it should be a lot of fun. Now, I want to make a really important point here. You wouldn't say a fork isn't a good eating implement because you can't eat soup with it. And similarly, having the job in hand is really, really important. This isn't what this tyre was designed for. It's a cross-country tyre, and it is great at doing what it was made for. But the question is there much a difference between something like this and a specialist tyre? Well, we're gonna find out. So wish me luck, Godspeed and all that. Whew, let's do it. Oh my God, it's already, oh my God. Oh, I missed that bit, oh God. Oh my God. Get through these roots there. Oh my God. Oh no, 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 no. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh no, no, it's not even this good. The track's over there. Oh God. Jesus, wet. Try that again. Oh no. Oh no. Oh my God. Going, not stopping. Oh, landed on a stump. Oh my God. Oh my God, already washing the front. Haven't even got to the bloody turn yet. Get into this little... Bloody hell! Easy does it now. There we go. Oh, what? After a morning of feeling like I'd never ridden a bike before, we headed back to change the tyres. So the cross-country tyres are off the bike. Now I want to make a point here. That was something that those tyres were never intended for, and I think it speaks about how lucky we are as mountain bikers to have tyres available to us that are so versatile. I still got down, I didn't die, it was fine. Maybe they weren't perfectly suited to the job, but now I have something that is. So a mud tyre is a bit more like a football boot, those studs that are there to penetrate the ground. Now, those football studs might not work very well if you're walking across tarmac, but that's not what they're made for. They're made for the soft conditions. Think of those cross-country tyres I was using earlier on, and perhaps consider them something more like your everyday running shoe or trainer. They're much better on harder surfaces. So what makes a mud tyre so good? So I mentioned it earlier on, but it's got far greater stack height. That means it's able to bite and penetrate the ground far better. You can also see these intricate indentations and little bumps and rises. What they do is they help the carcass shed mud, which means your tyre won't smooth over, becoming virtually a slick. It's also worth noting that it doesn't have such intricate cornering or tread pattern. Now, those sophisticated tread patterns that you get on our cross-country and trail tyres are absolutely fantastic because they can do a whole host of jobs. They can provide traction when we're climbing. They can also aid braking and cornering with very carefully shaped knobs. Now, this tyre, as you can see, doesn't have so much of that. It's a bit less sophisticated when it comes to that because all it's there to do is to stop mud clicking to it and to penetrate loose surfaces. All those different shapes, they add surface area. And surface area here, those flat areas, will only make mud clag and stick to the tyre. Right, well, here goes nothing. I don't know if it'll be any different or not. It's probably that wet. Oh no, immediately. So the first real test here. I know it doesn't look spectacular, but it just feels so much safer. It's absolutely different beast. Like, you can actually lean on the bike. Whew. I think the best thing about mud tyres actually is I can spend more time riding the stuff I really enjoy riding because it opens up the terrain. You know, some of that stuff earlier on, it's so clay, but it's not that technically varied, it's not that steep. But basically all it is an exercise in keeping your weight exactly central because you've got nothing to lean against. What I'm having fun doing now is actually pushing on the side knobs and able to use the tyre as it was intended and be able to move my bike in either direction, move my weight forward and back without it having an immediate repercussion. It's not the tyre's fault. That's the point I'm trying to make. Oh, So if mud tyres are the answer to all our prayers for our winter riding, why couldn't I wholeheartedly recommend buying some straight away? Well, they are far slower in terms of rolling speed, and they have a lot of extra weight, which you've got to plug around. Now, if you're riding natural trails like we were today that are quite soft, then honestly, they're just fantastic. They will change your riding experience and make you far, far safer. But what if you like to ride trail centres? What if you like to ride man-made stuff, maybe some berms and some hard-packed trails? Well, then I can tell you straight away, a mud tyre isn't going to be a good thing for you. What will happen is as you're hitting those hard turns, all those big tool knobs will be deforming and twisting, and that will give you a really unstable and unprecise feeling sensation. So I really couldn't recommend them for that. But I would say, if you like to have a bit of a mud plugger available, it can be really worth having a set that you put on 1 month a year. And it's certainly a lot of fun riding that stuff. So what would I recommend? Well, personally, I like to ride a Baron, which is almost like a cuts bike. It's similar to a Maxxis Shorty or maybe a Magic Mary from Schwalbe. I mean, why do you think the Shorty got the name? It's a cuts bike. It's because it's got a short spike. It's fantastic for riding mixed conditions and doesn't suffer from quite as much roll when it comes to those high load turns. But a tyre like that, like a Baron, like a Shorty, like a Magic Mary, will still be really, really good at penetrating softer ground and shedding mud. Not quite as capable as mud shedding as something like this, but they'll still do a very admirable job, as well as perhaps being a bit more versatile. Now, as we said earlier on, it's no comment on those cross-country tyres. They're just not ever intended for that purpose. And if they were made to shed that level of mud, well, they would be a really compromised cross-country tyre and probably not really fit for purpose. What would I describe riding a cross-country tyre with quite a shallow tread on that muck like? Well, it was a bit like standing on ice. It didn't respond to steering input or fore and aft movement. The issue being that every time you need to do that, you need to lean against something to move your weight back or to push against. And if you did that, the tyre would just slide. The biggest difference with a mud spike is that you could actually push into the ground. So suddenly, a simple move like moving your weight back or applying the brakes or turning suddenly had so much more grip available. And it meant that it was not only safer, but a lot more predictable. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Well, let's face it, a video of me pretty much humiliating myself as I spend, well, quite a lot of time on my backside in them there woods. Now, if you want to stay with the channel, click down here to see the race we did against Ollie Beckinsale. And if you want to stick with tyre tech, click down here for the Vittoria factory tour with Doddy. As always, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe. Get in the comments below. Let me know what you run all year round. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time.